Like,
He's,
oh my God.
he's playing with himself.
All right. Gotta mute.
Yeah.
evening, Geek Nation. I'm George, and this is That Geek Show, the show where we talk about the latest and greatest trending topics from the worlds of movies, TV shows, gaming, tech, and collecting. Now, we coming to you live every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the MCE channel. And with me, as always, to break this stuff down is my brother from another mother, Calvin, the statue fanatic. What's up, bro? How you doing?
What's up, man? It's good to be here again.
All right, man. Very good. Glad to have you back. All right. So, and, you know, coming at me is that dude that knows what's popping. My brother from another mother, my other brother from another mother, Seth, the Pop Knight.
You said it wrong, man.
What'd I say wrong, bro?
It's MCE. It's got to be louder.
Oh my
MCE.
All right, I got you. Next time I'll get that right, man. Next time I'll get that right.
What's up, guys?
All right, and then last we have the man, the Star Spangled guy, Eric, Captain Puerto Rico. What's up, Papo?
What's going on, guys?
What's up, Eric? What's going on, man?
Not much. Excited to be on show number 2.
Let's
do this.
Yeah, no technical difficulties today, man.
I'm hoping so, man. I'm looking for no technical difficulties, man. So
that's awesome.
Let us know.
George, how you doing, man? George, you introduced us, man. How you doing, man? I know you've been under the weather lately, man. You doing okay?
I'm doing better now. This weekend was a mess.
I hear you, man. I'm glad you're okay, boss.
So, to get right into the news, right, the stuff that we got talking about, I had to write everything down on these cards right here. So, you know, keep my mind going, bro. Keep my mind and memory. So, we're going to get this all going right here. All right, so, first topic up. Did Tom Holland do it again? He accidentally leaked the Spider-Man reveal, or did he? I mean, the title of the movie is called Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, I think this title sucks in particular. What do you guys think about it so far?
First of all, it wasn't accidentally leaked. He did that on purpose. There's no way. Come on, really? Everybody expected this from him.
All right, that's what I'm thinking too. All right, man. All right, so the next topic. Let's move on. So throw this over here. We'll do the next topic. So the next topic is gamers hold on to your cartridges and discs. It's because they may become a thing of the past and relics. Best Buy is phasing out gaming peripherals as we speak, and now even GameStop is looking for buyers because they're going through some financial problems. So are we looking at the end of physical media, guys? What do you think, man? What do you think?
I mean, you know, everything's going to streaming anyway. So I mean, yeah, I would say that could be a reality maybe in the next, you know, maybe 3 to 5 years. I mean, you know, once they get a like a working platform like Xbox or you know, PlayStation, to where they have kind of like a Steam setup, that can be totally plausible.
All right, that's true. It's true. All right, so
shit, man. I mean, you search the internet, you can see from Target to Best Buy to Walmart, you name it, man. Physical media is definitely going away. But with GameStop going out of the business, not going out of business, but in trouble, that's been where a lot of people go to trade in their games and things like that. So that might be the nail in the coffin right there if GameStop decides to do that, because their bread and butter is trade-ins, especially when it comes to games. As far as my experience has been. What about you, Eric? What do you think?
I think Xbox One, when it first came out, they had the right idea. They knew that digital was the future, but they went about it the wrong way. They imposed all this DRM ideas to gamers that they were not used to. Like me as a PC gamer, I get that whole DRM idea of always being online, but they went about it the wrong way, so that kind of hurt them in the beginning of the console life. But now you can see that most gamers just don't really care about going to GameStop or dealing with individuals there. They'd just rather buy it digital or even order it on Amazon. I think we have a situation here just like Toys R Us, where a niche store is no longer needed. When you have Walmart's, you have Amazon, you could basically get whatever you need at these bigger outlets rather than just going to a specific store. And half the time you get a better deal. So GameStop is just dead in the water, unfortunately.
True, but then you also run into the...
Let's hold that thought, guys. Let's hold that thought for the actual topic. Let's move on. I'm just introducing the topics right now. All right?
I thought we were the topics. What the hell?
I'm saying, man, this is the way the producer wrote this up, so we got to do it this way, bro. Let's get this going. We got this. I got this. This is the way I wrote this up. So this is how we're doing
like that. Come on.
Hey, all right. collecting world is changing. This is my home turf right here. So the collecting world is changing. We have constantly seen, or I've seen the trending growth in 1/4 scale statues, large scale toys. Everything seemed to be going bigger for quite a number of years. And now we're starting to see a growing trend of 1/6 scale and smaller scale statues coming back in the line, especially now with the introduction of XM Studios and Prime 1 Studios both bringing in a 1/6 scale line. So what do you guys think? I mean, do you guys think the small scale is coming back? Briefly, what do you guys think?
Are those the same? Are those the same sizes as the? I'm not too versed in the statue stuff, but are they like the same sizes like those Mezco figures, or are they a little bigger?
A 1/6 scale line is about a 12-inch tall figure.
So it's about close enough. I mean, those Mezco figures are actually pretty popular, and they're reasonably priced too. Most of them range from about I think $60 to $100. So that's and that kind of falls into what Calvin does with the collecting on a budget. For people who don't want to go something too overwhelming in price, but yet want that collectible. It kind of falls into that. What do you think about that, Calvin?
I don't know exactly. Well, I do have an opinion, but the Spider-Man Tom Welling thing. Let's just go back to that just for 1 minute. Can we do that?
Yeah, let's do that. So
let's do that. Let's go back.
Let's start off at the beginning. Maybe we'll do this a little bit differently next time, so that way we don't get into such a drawn out thing.
Yeah, and everybody's got an opinion. They're all excited to just go in there. So let's get back to this.
My bad.
I got an opinion about this guy. Go ahead.
I salute you.
All right. So, what do we guys think about the Spider-Man title, man? Are you guys loving it? You guys hating it? What do you guys feel about it?
I definitely feel it's far from home.
Seth.
Wah, wah.
I personally don't like it.
Do you think that that title "Far From Home" has anything or any tie-in to the Infinity line?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when I was thinking about it this morning, I was trying to figure out okay, I wonder if it's going to take place before Infinity War or it's going to take place after. But now with Not Far From Home, I definitely think it's going to pick up after right after Infinity War. So I definitely feel there will be a reincarnation. So
that's what you guys think the title is? This has to do with Infinity War?
I think it's going to be just like Homecoming. There's going to be multiple meanings for the title. They apparently like having the little Spider-Man logo because they had that in Homecoming as well. But I think it definitely has. I think the title before this, it was called what do you call it?
Homecoming.
No. It was called Field Trip. People were thinking it was going to be titled Field Trip, and then this comes out Far From Home. It's relatively close to going on a field trip. You're far away, far from home. But I think it's in relation to a continuation after Infinity War Part 2. Because
and do you think this was an accident or an intentional leak?
If you look at the posting, he wrote underneath, "Sorry for no announcements," which is really sarcastic because you're literally announcing something.
Right.
Because underneath the title of the video, he wrote, "Sorry for no announcements, love my fans," and then he announced something. So it's clearly planned. I mean, they're smart at Marvel. Yeah. They like to play it off as a little kid that didn't know what he was doing, blah, blah, blah.
And it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's got us talking. We're talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh, those damn Marvel marketing people, they get you every time.
Yeah.
Do we think that the story... Okay, I'm sorry. Do you think that the Disney-Fox deal will affect the story at all?
No, because it's Sony. Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man. That has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, but what do you guys think about the fact that Disney just sealed the deal, rejected Comcast, and accepted the $71 billion from Fox?
I want to throw confetti in the air, and I'm happy as hell about it.
I mean, I have Hulu right now. I have Netflix. I wouldn't mind paying money for a Disney subscription service that gives me the entire Disney library.
Well, they're supposed to do that, I believe.
No, that's what I mean. If you could provide more content because of this deal, not only Marvel titles but also all other Fox properties, I think that's a win for the consumer.
Didn't Marvel pull all their movies from Netflix anyway?
I think there's still some stuff. I mean, there's still some movies, but I'm sure they will pull all of that once their stuff goes live next year.
True.
Their streaming service.
But but look at what they're getting back now. They're getting back X-Men. They're getting the Fantastic Four. You know, especially the X-Men makes perfect sense now, more than ever, because Hugh Jackman isn't going to do Wolverine anymore. So now here comes the perfect opportunity to rebrand Wolverine and create a new Wolverine. Even though for some of us, Hugh Jackman will always be, you know, Wolverine, just like Michael Keaton will be Batman, and Christopher Reeves will always be Superman. But it's just one of those things that we have to see where they go for it. I mean, they do have a really good knack for finding the right people to play the part. So that's why I'm kind of going into that with an open mind.
I mean, let's not forget, you do have X-23. That little girl was a badass. So she grows up
absolutely,
and continue with her with a female role as the new Wolverine. I mean, that could work.
And I mean, when you look at the success of like Wonder Woman, I mean, there is definitely a market for female superheroes now. It is not like it was in the past. People are really looking for heroes in that arena.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I need a hero.
Yeah.
You guys know I love Wonder Woman, so if you throw a freaking female, whatchamacallit, Wolverine, badass.
Well, maybe Marvel might be able to pull Gal Gadot over from DC and, you know, make her play a role. Hey, you know what? Stranger things have happened. I'm just saying.
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't know about that. All right. So moving on to the next topic, are we seeing an end of gaming physical media? Like I stated earlier, Best Buy has been phasing out their physical hard copies of video games. GameStop has recently announced that they are looking for buyers. They're having some financial problems due to some poor sales from the previous year. So what do you guys think? Are we about to see the end of gaming, or gaming discs anyway?
This is actually really interesting, because now that I had a few seconds to think about it, you know, especially for the systems that have hard drives in it, you know, with the digital downloads, it's probably what, like 50, what's the average game these days, like 50, 60 gigs?
Yeah.
You know, so they're going to seriously have to ramp up the space for the hard drives in these systems, because I know when I buy a new game, and, you know, my PlayStation has 1 terabyte in it. Now, I can either go one or two ways. I can either delete a game off of it that I'm not playing right now that'll free up some space, or I can go out and buy another hard drive and put it in there and transfer everything over to the bigger hard drive. And then you have to ask yourself, okay, well, what's the bigger cost? You know, buying a maybe like a 4 terabyte hard drive, which is maybe what, like $200-300. It's basically almost buying a whole nother system where you can just delete the game, keep the physical copy, and then if you ever want to go get the urge to go back and play it again, you can.
True.
I just think, just like the industry has to change. They have to catch up with the way that consumers buy things. And I mean, you can do an internet search, like I said earlier, and you'll see that major retailers, whether it be Walmart, Target, Best Buy, they're all limiting the space that they have physical media in, whether it be DVDs or CDs or even gaming. At one point, when you go into a retailer, especially Best Buy, the center of the store was all media, just as a traffic driver. And that's changed drastically, because I don't remember the last time that I actually bought a physical game other than the Crotos because of the statue. But for the most part, I downloaded, and most games have these add-ons, the DLCs and things like that. So I do think that there's an evolution when it comes to physical media. And I think that's probably why GameStop is in the trouble that it's in, because their bread and butter, like I said earlier, has always been the trade-in of games and things like that. And with digital media, that's becoming an absolute thing right there. Absolute. I mean, that's just not something.
Well, I think people are also getting frustrated too with buying a game for $60 and then taking it to GameStop and be like, oh, well, we'll offer you $5 for it. You know, it's like, you know, I mean, you know, again, you're spending all that money, you might as well, and they're only going to offer you $5 for it, you might as well just keep it.
Right. And at the end of the day, I think that's part of the way that you know, companies are combating copyright type stuff. Not so much with gaming, I guess, but Steam has definitely shown how that this is a viable thing. Steam is a complete industry when it comes to the PC world. I mean, you download the Steam games. That's how you get your media. You do not go to a physical store to buy a PC game anymore. That's just not a thing.
I'll say this about Steam. They're more concerned about selling games than giving me Half-Life 3. I don't get it.
Let me tell you, hey,
right.
Eric, you just gotta let that go. Okay? You just gotta let it go. It ain't happening.
I mean, also too. I mean, unless they come up with some kind of cloud-based system to where they sell you X amount of cloud storage for X amount of dollars a month. They can do something like that too, and you can just store your games on the cloud. I mean, it's up there somewhere.
Yeah, that's true too. And a lot of the gaming, I mean, when it comes to like games like the PS2 games and things, I think, right? I'm not a subscriber, but doesn't PlayStation or Sony have an in-cloud gaming service where you just basically subscribe to this gaming service and you can play these games, the classic games online?
Yeah,
they do have that, and a lot of people have been complaining that since it's being streamed, the quality is not the same. But there have been leaked images that there's an option now to download the game. It hasn't been implemented yet, but if they do that, it's going to make a lot of subscribers happy, and their subscriber base is probably going to increase. So bye-bye to used game sales if you can, make the consumer happy with downloading the games.
I got to ask each of you guys, Eric and Seth, do you guys download most of the games that you buy, or do you actually buy physical games?
I buy digital for PC, but for my Switch and my PS4, I like getting the physical copy. I don't know why, I just do.
What about you, Seth?
Yeah, I'm all about the physical copies. I mean, I don't play any PC games, but for my PlayStation and my Xbox One, I just buy the physical copies.
Because I only buy exclusives for my PS4 and my Switch. Everything multi-platform is PC, because it's better. But
hey man, EX or go home, right?
I mean, look at this.
Yeah, I other than buying one with a statue, I can't remember the last time I actually bought a physical game, because more than likely I'm just going to download it unless there's a Kratos or God of War that comes with a statue.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Let me ask you guys this. Hey, okay, so I come from the era, and I don't know, guys in the chats, you guys can, tell me if I'm wrong. I come from the era of when you paid for a game, you got your physical copy of the game, and the game came with a thick-ass book, and the book you would take, and you would put the game, you would sit down, you go sit on the shitter for a little bit, you'd read your book, tell you how to play the game, it'll tell you the story of the game, the backstory of the game. You get all pumped up into the game, you got your shit, you go play the game. That's how I used to play the games. And then over time, all of this has been dwindling away. First there was the cartridges that were gone, we went to discs, the discs lost the books, and now we ended up with just the sheet that has the code that tells you get a digital media of something like a hat, and I'm supposed to be happy that I paid you $80 because I got an extra hat. So that's where we're at right now. Now
George,
we're gonna hold on. Now we're about to lose even that. And they're not bringing the price of these games down at all. I mean, it's still going to be the same price. So,
George,
what do you guys think about that?
They're trying to save the environment, George. I mean, look at all the trees they're cutting down for these manuals. Okay, even when you open up the case, it's like half of the plastic is missing, and they put this
the book, bro.
But Eric, George has a really good point though. They're cutting out the problem of distributing, packaging, manufacturing, and all of this stuff, but yet the price of the games aren't going down. Right. That's a really good point, George.
Because the cost of making these games, it's expensive, man. People want prettier games. They want bigger worlds. It requires human resources.
Why is the physical copy 60 and the digital copy 60?
Because it's still the same game. I mean,
I just don't want to play by myself.
No, that doesn't make any sense. Even if it's still the same game. So you're saying that it's still the same game, but all of the cost of packaging, advertising, the books, the exclusives that come with these things, all of that is not a factor in the cost of making the game?
Hey man, if you have a problem with pricing, go to PC gaming, man, because you can get the same game at a cheaper price, and you don't have to worry about that.
Listen, everybody knows as well as I do that shit is manufactured for nickels on the dollar in China.
Exactly.
So it's like something that costs maybe 25 cents to make total. They're charging like $80 for. I mean, it's like, come on. It's the same thing with Jordans. They have some sweatshop somewhere where they charge, where some kid gets paid $5 an hour just to sit there and sew some shoes together. I mean,
here's something else to think about too. So you get your digital copy of the game. That ain't your game. You know, if you decide that you don't want to play for, you don't want to pay for the PS4, what is it, Plus or Xbox Live, your digital download that you just dropped $60 for, you can no longer play that thing. You know.
Well, that's only for PlayStation Plus games. That's like a bonus they give you. You know, it's just a perk because before they didn't do that, so it's just an incentive. So you're almost paying for the license to play the game. So if you don't have the license anymore, you're going to lose the rights to play it. So I think that's fair.
Okay, but I've also heard
Xbox doesn't do that. Xbox, you get your game with Xbox Live, and you can still play it, I believe, without Xbox Live.
Okay, but I've also heard too that you get your digital copy of the game, and so many years go down the line, whatever, you got your game, you know, and it's in your digital copy or in your digital library, and they lose the rights to be able to have that game out there, and you lose your game. They may take the game back, similar to the way that iTunes was doing with the music.
I haven't heard any games like that, but I know, like, for example, Grand Theft Auto 4, they lost the license to a lot of the songs in the game, so they removed a lot of classic songs from GTA 4 and they replaced it with something else. I think that was like a couple of months ago.
But that has nothing to do with physical or digital media, because even if you have the physical media, you still have to download that content that's authorized, and they will remove it regardless if you have the digital or the physical content.
Listen, it's only a matter of time before, I'm sure they're even out there already, so I'm probably, you know, behind the 8 ball on this one, but I'm sure there's a hack for the PlayStation, there's a hack for the Xbox, where people can go and download pirated games and put them on their systems, and then you don't have to worry about paying those ridiculous costs.
Hey, somebody in the chat, this Spanish Heart 18 says that he still remembers the Nintendo 64 cartridges costing $80 to $100. Do you guys ever remember paying that much for a cartridge?
No, dude, they were like $35, $40 tops, if that.
No, they were expensive. They were like 60. I remember buying Mortal Kombat for like $69 or something like that.
For a Nintendo 64 game?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at a follow-up post that he did. He says in Canada that, I mean, that could be it too.
Yeah. The currency isn't so strong up there, isn't it, eh?
Hey, stop.
Rude.
Yeah,
rude. Yeah.
Such a douche.
Rude. Yeah, guys.
$100. Well, the $100 with the Rumble Pack. That's what he's saying. So yeah, because I remember the pack with the Rumble Pack, because that's about right.
Okay.
Starfax with the Rumble Pack.
Yeah, I don't remember paying that much money for a cartridge game. I think my Sega Genesis games at the most were like $50 at tops. Anyways. All right.
Hey, let's not forget about Comcast here, okay? We have a cap of 1,000 gigabytes now, so if we just go straight to digital, downloading 60 gig games or re-downloading stuff, you're going to hit that cap a lot quicker. Got a buddy of mine, Josh, he's constantly hitting his caps because of streaming and downloading games.
Ridiculous.
It's just such a stupid business model, but hey, that's how they get our money, because we're canceling our subscriptions to cable.
That's why I jumped AT&T fiber. No limits.
Yeah. I got AT&T fiber also, but I gotta admit, I'm not really a big fan of the service.
Yeah, but there's only a matter of time then before there's a battle. There's a battle for internet supremacy. I mean, between AT&T and Comcast. I mean, even though there already is, but it's only a matter of time before there's a monopoly and one overtakes the other one. I mean, even if that's even possible.
Right.
I mean, if Comcast had all that money to throw down on. Throw down on Disney. I mean, who's to say that they don't have that money to throw down on, maybe buying AT&T or something like that?
If it gets approved, but yeah.
All right. So let's move on to the last topic. So last topic is a collecting topic. Lately, or like I stated earlier, for a long time now, at least maybe for the last 4 years, maybe 5 years, we've been seeing a growing trend in large-scale statues. We went from 1/5 scale up to 1/4 scale, 1/3 scale. We even got life-size statues now that are out there, and they're huge. I mean, these quarter scales behind me are massive statues. But recently, XM Studios, Prime One Studios, Iron Studios, they've been pushing for smaller scales. We're seeing 1/10 scale statues, 1/6 scale recently from XM Studios with their DC line, and Prime One Studios now with their the Jurassic Park line Jurassic World line that they're doing. Mm-hmm. So, do you think that we're seeing a return to 1/6 scale statues now? Is it time for that? I'll give this one to Calvin because Calvin likes statues.
Right.
Go ahead.
Wrong screen.
I am excited about it because you are correct. The statues, the size, and I mean, real estate is not unlimited. And if they can continue the quality of what they do in the larger scales and the smaller scale, yes. My concern, George, is this, though. If we're going to shrink the statues, does that mean the price shrinks? And I'm not so sure that's going to be the case, that the price is going to shrink with the statues. I saw all of the line from XM, the Justice League line, and I am really excited to get those. I would give up my premium format sideshows for those, but if I'm going to pay the same price, or more, then I don't know about that.
Well, is that going to drive down the price of the larger statues?
No.
People start buying more of those 1/6.
No. I think it gives more options because there are just large scale statues that are out there of that quality. It puts some people out of the market because they just don't have the real estate to store statues that big. By changing the size, I think it opens the market for a larger audience to be able to purchase those statues.
I'll tell you what it does. It gets people like me to start buying statues.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what I just said.
Okay, because that's all 1/6 scale. That's all I collect because I like it because of the size and it just works. So if you introduce that, it's like a new gateway drug. Boom! Hey, look at statues, man.
When you look at
the 1/6 scale, we got you.
Yeah, when you look at the XM statues, not only, the figure is 1/6, but then these guys, if you look at what they've done so far, especially like the Green Lantern statue they just introduced, that diorama, that entire setup is pretty massive too. So I don't know if they're gonna make it smaller or just create more stuff around it and it still takes up the same footprint.
I'll stick to collecting pops, thank you.
He's like, I can stack these easily.
You can see behind me clearly they're stackable.
Yeah.
Are you gonna rip one open today, man?
Come on, stop. I'm not
rip one open.
Come on, man, rip it open. Come on.
I can't do it.
What do you think, George? Does that entice you about getting into a smaller scale based on space?
Yes, I do. I've been for a long time been thinking about moving on to some 1/6 scale statues because I do reviews on larger scales and I like to see some of these smaller scales too. And I think that the quality in the craftsmanship of what these guys are putting out right now is on par with the larger scales. It's not like how it used to be where there was such a big void between the two sizes. Now you're seeing these 1/10 scale statues with these extreme detail. If you look at some of these Iron Studios pieces. So yeah, there's a part of me that thinks that I may take a look into it. Although when you put a 1/6 scale up against a quarter scale, there is a daunting difference when you see them side by side.
Right, so, there really is. But you can, and again, price will be the determining factor. But considering space, the amount of statues that you could display and what you could actually acquire is so differently with the 6 scale or 10 scale figure. I don't know. It's definitely something I think a lot of people would be interested in.
John brought up a good point. Don't forget about the cost of shipping too.
Well, yeah, on an XM statue, you're going to have, on top of the price of the statue, you're going to have shipping from overseas. So, unless you're buying it from, Big Bad Toy Store, shipping is still going to be considerable. Shipping is probably going to be inwards of $100 to $200, depending on the size of the box. And you're looking at probably between like $300 and $400 for the statue, I'm thinking, somewhere around there.
What I found with stores like Big Bad Toy Store is that I'm assuming, I don't know how this works, but I'm assuming that they can get things shipped to them in bulk and they can pass that savings on to consumers, because I've compared some of the statues that they've had on their website that if you were to get them, even the ones that are worldwide licenses, if you would get them from XM, they would be more expensive than getting them from Big Bad Toy Store.
That may be right. I thought that they would buy in smaller quantity, only have like a few of those statues, but maybe it'll be different with this size. Maybe that'll come around.
So are we talking about like how you're like behind you, how you have your Darth Vader and then Darth Revan next to it? Is that kind of like a good comparison?
No, the Darth Revan that's there is a 1/8 scale statue, so that's smaller than a 6 scale. The Ninja Turtles are probably more on par with what a 6 scale statue would be.
Okay.
So that's probably your difference between that and, say, Cable up top. Cable's a quarter.
Right.
Those are still pretty decent sized pieces. So I mean that's pretty cool, and especially if they do it at a lower price point, it might get me into it. Just saying.
Yeah, that's the catcher for me, man. The price point, because I can totally see how they produce the scale, and then you still end up paying premium price for these statues.
I mean, since we're talking about shipping and we're talking about Big Bad Toy Store, this is almost like a plug for them. I
know,
put a
right?
4th scale statue shipping here in the United States. 1/4 scale. It's only $4 shipping. $4. So if you pre-order it through Big Bad Toy Store, you're good when it comes to shipping if you live in the States.
Yeah, absolutely.
True. They do put a little bit of a markup on the statue. I don't know how much. I haven't really priced them out per se. I think I did it on one statue, and I felt that it ended up being very close to what I could probably get it from XM. But Calvin, you're more experienced with buying from them, so you're probably right.
Yeah, because so check out the ones that they do sell in the States. For example, the Marvel Premiere statues, I've done some reviews on, like Venom. All those statues were shipped to me for $4, and they were $134, the same that is the manufacturer suggested retail price, with a $4 shipping charge. So forget about the XM part, but just statues in general, shipping from them, $4. You can't beat that. That's just amazing.
$4.
Yeah, $4.
Jeez.
And a shameless plug, like you said, Eric.
Hey, well, I mean,
if you want to pay for $4 shipping, come on down to Big Bad Toy Store.
They better send us some shit after this, right?
I mean, when that 1/3 scale Captain America comes out from XM, I know where I'm getting it.
From Big Bad Toy Store.
Yeah. They're big, they're bad, and they're a toy store.
By the way, they're not paying us for this.
They are not paying
We're
us
just
a
talking
dime.
about it. It's just
They are not paying us a dime for this, man.
Well, there's something else that I always wonder too, is because these companies are based in Singapore, aside from Sideshow and Pop Culture Shock, right? They're in the United States, but these other companies are all based overseas, and they're marketing to their countries as well. Countries like Japan. When I was over there, they got very limited space. So selling these quarter scale statues doesn't seem like a good marketing idea for them to be able to market into their own country. Do you think that this is a good idea for them as far as sales go? Maybe they'll capture more of that market as well as the American market.
I think it makes sense to always expand your inventory or what you sell. I mean, if you have a quarter scale and you're already successful, try a different scale and see how it goes. I mean, it doesn't hurt. And like you mentioned, space conscious consumer is going to purchase a smaller statue, whatever they like, because of, scale and size. And if it works, it works.
Yeah.
You're ready for my tip of the day? Here you go. Here's this.
Oh boy.
So no, it's good. So usually, from what I've seen from George and a few other people that collect, they buy a lot of their stuff to house their statues from IKEA. So if I were you guys and they're coming out with these 1/6 scale statues, I would totally invest in IKEA stock.
I don't think it's a publicly traded company, but I hear you.
Either way, that's the tip of the day, man. It's going to go up. Watch, through the roof. 20 points.
Yeah. I'm just curious, man. There's quite a few people in the chat. What do they think about the whole 6 scale thing? And what do they think about XM's line in general? I mean, does it look like something they'd invest in?
Well, looks like we got Bronx Collection saying, so it makes no sense that XM 1/6 is worldwide licensed. You would still have to pay that crazy shipping.
I'm totally with it, man. I agree. It seems like it should be cheaper.
Well, I mean, if they took and they got a warehouse in the United States, then they could ship it over here in bulk and then possibly bring the shipping down. I know that's what First for Figures does.
Yeah.
And I know other companies use a distributor here in the United States, whether it be Sideshow or their own, to be able to help out with the shipping for the buyers here.
George,
so it's possible they could do the same thing.
George, you're probably more aware of this than I am, but it seems like I'm comparing last year from what I heard and what I've read. It seems like this year that XM is doing a lot more marketing in the U.S. for the Comic Cons. They're going to be in New York, of course, but they've made several other Comic Cons here in the U.S. so far, marketing their new DC line. So maybe you're right about them trying to get in the U.S. to distribute that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I gotta think that having these large statues and their statues are the quarter scales are even coming down in size now too. Not in height, but at least in their bases.
Footprint, yeah.
Yeah.
Girth.
Yeah, girth. To be able to help with the space issue. It's because everybody loves these XM statues. They're beautiful looking pieces. But I mean, at the end of the day, these boxes are massive. There's only so much space you can keep these boxes. I mean, my garage is turning into a storage unit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you gotta think about what you're gonna who's buying all this stuff. Not everybody has a mansion to be able to buy these big ass statues.
I kind of see what you're saying, and it kind of reminds me what was happening with Amazon a while ago, where they were just shipping boxes, like really large boxes, and it was only having like the one small thing in it. So it's like I kind of feel like they're sending you like these big ass boxes that they can probably even condense even more, because I've been with you when you've unboxed statues and stuff, and I mean there is definitely ways that they can make it the packaging way smaller to condense to maybe offset the cost of the shipping a little bit.
Yeah, but what I like about XM statues is that box, it's huge. There's no doubt about that. That thing will withstand an atomic blast. When you're getting this thing shipped from overseas, and they know it's coming over here, they gotta know. These things survive the trip. Sideshow ships from California to California, and you got a broken statue. So it makes sense to maybe meet in the middle somewhere possibly. But I think that XM Studios boxing, it's not bad. It's meant to do what it does. It's meant to take a hit, and it brings out the quality of the piece. You make sure that you get your thing intact. So I think it's important that they keep that. I'm
going to make a 12-month prediction, 18 months, that Sideshow becomes an XM distributor.
That would be the end, right? That'll be Sideshow getting the final Infinity Stone right there, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put that. That is a freaking amazing way to put that. But I can see if it's a business and it's about getting your product out there, it's about getting a larger audience, forget what your loyalties are. So if they would strike a deal with XM so that they could distribute through XM, Prime One has done it, Imaginarium Arts has done it, all the other companies are doing it. So why not if you want a piece of the pie? Just like Walmart, any person that's in retail that wants to get their product in front of a customer knows they need to get it in a Walmart store. And I would believe that Sideshow is becoming a lot like that. You want to get your product out there, get it in front of Sideshow.
True. So what's going on in the chats, guys?
We got Venom Unbound talking about Kotobukiya, which are his main go-to statues. Which I have two Kotobukiya statues. I have two. I have a War Machine and I have an Iron Man, and I like those too. And those are PVC. Those are PVC statues. They're not as expensive. They're still very good quality, and they're they are a pleasure to look at, just like other statues as well.
Yeah, that is a great point that I just made, because guess who distributes Kotobukiya now?
Sideshow.
They will have them all.
Exactly.
One ring to rule them all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at you. I mean, if it makes it available to more people, then yeah, because think about how inaccessible XM is when you think about shipping and how to get a piece from XM.
Yeah.
So is XM like the Soul Stone?
You guys, that's a really good analogy right there, because even
that was great.
That was a great analogy. PCS is also distributing through Sideshow.
True.
So yeah,
it's the one place to get everything, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we won't get into that, but which is why things have made a drastic turn over the last couple of weeks in terms of getting a handle on certain things when it comes to who produces what and why.
Buy that Sideshow stock.
It's probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, no kidding. Anything else in the chats, guys?
No, it's kind of quiet, man. I mean, we got quite a few people watching, but not a whole lot of people chatting it up.
All
right, guys.
No doubt. All right, guys. So that is that Geek Show. I hope you guys had a good time. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you're new here, please hit subscribe, smash that bell button so you know when we get another show that's coming out. But we are here every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here at MCE.
MCE.
So
MCE.
Thank you guys again for joining us. And until next time, guys, keep it marvelous.
Keep it marvelous.
Keep it marvelous.
Marvelous.